Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on our YouTube account. We're going to be looking at the setup that I'm going to be using for the Heroes of Esperia. Now overall, when you get into the Heroes of Esperia, you want to make sure not only that you set your aggressive teams or the teams that you are going to do combat with, but you also set the defensive teams. Now we'll go ahead, we'll join this. Looking at the loot that is in here, your goal within here is to get to Masters. That is really the big thing, regardless of the account, even my free-to-play account. We always got into this Masters League, which is 1,000 or 12,100 points. Getting to the Masters League is going to give you not only your 25 Stargazer scrolls, but you're also going to get a ton of your common scrolls in there, and also those tier 4 stones, which are highly coveted because they are pretty expensive when you buy them out of the guild store. So let's go ahead and join in here. Now, of course, once you join in here, it places you into Silver 1. If you're new, you might be a little bit lower, but you can see right off the bat, we are getting 2 full elite summons. We're also getting 360 of our rare stones. Now with those, remember, we do have the Dreamy Garden that is coming up, or the Dream Garden. Make sure you're saving those because the blue stones can actually be used to upgrade heroes to get the qualification or counting towards that event. And then of course, we are getting some essence out of here. Now, truly, I like the twisted essence out of here because again, as we continue to build up our Elder Tree, shards we can get all the time. Both the primordial and the amplifying emblems the exact same, but getting the twisted essence out of here is going to build everything for the entire class. Now, like I was saying with the formations, you can see these formations are a little bit newer formations. I did update them last time we were in here, but I want to go through and I want to build out my formations, and this will change. So right now you see that we have 3 teams, and then later we go to 5 teams, and then I believe even later than that, you go to 7 teams. So making sure that you're putting the teams or the heroes that you're essentially going to be using in here is going to be imperative. Now, there is also a specific way that we want to do this. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the teams built in here. So I'm going to go ahead and let's modify, or let me adjust the order. So the reason for this is when you look at some of these teams, like the Awakened version of Chimera, that is a super, super strong team. And again, we're going to change up some of these teams a little bit. So is Ulna. So Ulna, of course, being a very strong team as well. Let's go ahead and save these, and then we're going to do our modifications in here. So looking at the build, we are running Lucilla, and I want to run through each one, kind of show you why. Lucilla, of course, in PvP is just broken. When you think of a hero that is going to take damage, that it can absorb a ton of burst damage, if she dies, she's resurrected. If she dies, she's resurrected. In addition, you also do have the ability in here of Liberta. So Lucilla and Liberta, we know, do go together like peanut butter and jelly. They work incredibly well in formations. And then, of course, we have the Aura back here, or our beast, the Owl, to go ahead and boost up the haste. And, of course, the Awakened version of Athalia, which, again, is a very, very broken hero. Now, this one, we're going to drop out Amelia. And the other part of the PvP aspect that is very strong is Lady Simona. So she is really, with the energy disintegration she provides around this team, the energy disintegration, of course, is going to amplify what the Awakened version of Chimera does, working incredibly well. Now, you'll also want to note that building out or putting on your collections in here for a lot of players, and you'll realize kind of going through this, that a lot of the collections don't carry over. You're not going to see them really work together. You have to make sure that you do this. And unfortunately, when you go into other game modes, a lot of times, let's say you go into the Cursed Realm and the Nightmare Corridor, you go ahead and you equip everything in there. It's going to change what it is equipped on here, which is an absolute pain in the butt, but I'm hoping they're going to adjust it later. Now, this one, we're looking at Rem and Ulna. Now, of course, Rem-Ulna combination is, again, another formation that is very, very broken, but works incredibly well. All right, so looking at this formation, like I said, Rem with Ulna, a very broken combination because the issue that we have with Rem is survivability. So, of course, with Ulna, it kind of negates the survivability. Then we have Ezio in here. Ezio is still a super strong PvP hero because of the insta-kill. We have Demia in here that is going to keep this team alive. And then, of course, Leica does a lot of damage, meaning that between Leica and Rem, they're going to get the HP low. Ezio is going to go ahead and do the finishing move on them, and boom, it is going to be done with that one. Now, the beast in this one, we are actually using the Panda. So this is going to be the Panda. Now, the Panda, of course, can hide targets with the bamboo, so we can actually see the bamboo come up on Demia, and ultimately does provide some crowd control in here, making this a very, very strong team. Then for the third one, we do have the Awakened version of Belinda. Now, of course, with this one, it's kind of broken in here with the combination of these two heroes. We have Lavatoon, we have Gavis, and then in here we are using the Rock Lizard. So, of course, when it comes to the shielding ability, the Rock Lizard is going to amplify that, making the survivability of Awakened Belinda essentially no longer an issue. Now, of course, we have the original version of Aziz is going to provide a mana battery, also is going to provide the ability to cancel ultimate abilities on the enemy team. We have Jerome in here, which is for a little bit of crowd control, but also as a super high buffer when it comes to the Awakened version of Belinda. And then, of course, as a buffer with Lavatoon, does incredibly well. Gavis is in here for damage mitigation. Now, this is where the hero has really shown a lot of promise when it comes to the PvP aspect, is the damage mitigation that he provides. And again, this formation hinges on the ability to keep that Awakened version of Belinda alive, and that is it. You have to keep Belinda alive. If Belinda dies, it is pretty much game over in the formation. So those are the first three that we are going to start with. Now, of course, we can go ahead, we can click our portrait right here, and we can start fighting. So, of course, in here, you want to look at where the hero's powers are in relationship to yourself, because, of course, this also works on martial rating. So, as we've seen before, this is going to be one, and I want to change up these teams as well. That does work, and look how old these teams are, guys. We have Brutus in here. I'm going to go ahead and swipe everybody out of here. And again, then we're going to go in here, we're going to build our teams. So we're going to use, this one is going to be the Awakened version of Chimera in here. And then, of course, we're going to use our regular heroes that I just showed you. Now, these formations, these two do work incredibly well, both on, really on both sides of the equation. When you're looking at the attacking formations, when you look at the defensive formations, they do work incredibly well. And then, of course, down here, we're going to put in Lady Simona. This is a really strong burn comp in here. And then we are doing the Owl, which is used in another formation, but there we go. We'll pull the Owl. So this is going to be the first formation that I'm going in here. Now, SP effect right here. When an enemy suffers a total of energy reduction of 400, it prevents the energy recovery. I'm going to keep Chimera's SP effect on there. As much as I like the Awakened version of Athalia, Chimera and Lady Simona are a pretty broken combination. Now, for this one, again, we're going to use the original version of Aziz. Unfortunately, the Awakened one does absolutely nothing. We're going to drop Jerome in here. Now, Jerome, I did build up a little bit further. We're going to drop Gavis in here, which again, as a hero that provides a lot of mitigation, works incredibly well. We have Lavatoon in here, which a lot of these are only 1-star at this point. And then the Awakened version of Belinda. And of course, the Rock Lizard is going to be run within this formation. And then the last one is going to be the Alna team. Now, Alna Rem, again, this is an older team that we've been using for a ton of time. Then you put in a Demia in there, which works super well. Ezio in there, that's why I built out Ezio actually a little bit further, is the ability to insta-kill heroes. And, of course, the delay is going to come in with Leica. And then on the combination of that, making sure that we do have not only Beast in here, but making sure that we do have the collections in here. Because, again, when you're going through here and when you're swapping different formations, a lot of times it is going to drop out the collections, which is an absolute just pain in the butt. I'm not too worried about what collections in here. Again, it's not super imperative, and you can see that we are very limited to the collections essentially that we have in here. So I'm going to throw on a skill level in there. And then, of course, the last one that we have in here, doing the exact same. You can see I don't know why, and it's done this for an incredible amount of time. Why none of the collections just carry over, why we can't set the collections. It's something that I know they're still kind of working on. Even right there is the one for Orin. And there we go. So the first battle is all set. Now, on a daily basis, you can see we have 3 of 3. So you're going to have the ability to not only get loot out of here on a regular basis through our 3 of 3, but you're also going to have the ability to complete, and this is one of the big things, is you want to complete all of the quests that you have going on in here on a daily basis. They're going to roll up essentially to your weekly quest or the quest that you're getting out of here, and making sure, again, that with the defeat or with the victory that you're getting and maximizing your hero essence, but you're also getting your champion bounties. This is where the daily quests are going to come in. Want to make sure you do the dailies, because the dailies, of course, are going to roll up to this seasonal quest, and it is going to yield you additional loot. When you're going up levels in here, you're going to get additional loot. That's why I said, when you think big picture about this, is you get a lot of loot from this game mode itself. In addition to that, we know that this is going to be the ability to get the free copy of Hildwyn. Now, of course, a lot of players do wait a little bit of time until they start making progression in here. I do not recommend it at all. Just go ahead and push in here. Even these chests, guys, we're getting some red chests. We're getting some twisted essence. We're getting quite a bit out of here. And looking at the disparities, so we're talking 3 points right here and the difference of almost 30 million in there, which is kind of crazy. But you'll notice very quickly that our 3 teams eventually, as we continue, will go to 5 teams, and then it goes to even more teams. Now they're running, you've seen in here, Hildwyn and a couple other heroes. We still get the victory out of there, which means we're going to go ahead and proceed. And of course, that means our 3 of 3 right here for the daily quest, or the daily rewards, is completely done. But I'm going to use it until it makes me pay for tickets. That again is another thing you can really do with the martial ratings in here, is going through here and making sure you're getting to the point where when it makes me pay for tickets, I'm going to wait till the next day essentially to make some more progression. You could grind this out if you wanted to use a lot of tickets, but it does cost diamonds. So when I go in here and fight, I think it's going to tell me that I have to use challenger tickets. The 10 diamonds, which is not too bad to get 5 more attempts. You know what? Let's go ahead and do this once. And of course, when you level up, so when you're moving up in the Heroes of Esperia and you go to the 5 teams, you want to make sure that you're putting 5 teams in here. You'll see a lot of players that when you're moving up here, and there we go, we did pick up another chest, is when you're moving through progression in the Heroes of Esperia, players will get to the point of having the 5 teams, and Team 4 and Team 5 for a lot of people will be empty, meaning you're almost giving away your instant defeat there because you don't have anything assigned or you didn't fill out your formations correctly, meaning you didn't have or you didn't put anyone in there. Let's run through these last 3 tickets. And of course, this is probably one of the biggest roll-ups that we see, is the ability to get Hildwyn. Now, of course, we know that there are going to be 4 events that are going to be focused around Hildwyn. And I feel like it's going to be interesting to see if they're giving us 4 full copies. I'm not even sure where my power is, but I'm not sure if 63, so we're at about 180. But getting those 4 free copies of Hildwyn that are going to be coming out of different game modes. And you could see right there was the original version of Athalia. So I'm assuming that a lot of these players haven't changed their formations. Even here, you can see Team 3 is empty. Team 2 is really old. This is a player, again, that hasn't changed the defensive formations. They could be going through, doing all their attacks, doing everything well, losing a ton of battles like this because they've never updated their defensive formation. So make sure you update those formations. And boom, that is chest number 3 that we have already picked up, guys. Not going to buy any more tokens. So of course in here, we can collect up. These are dailies. The dailies are going to go into and kind of roll up. So boom, there are some more resources, including epic emblem chest, which I think that was just 1. That's literally all that they gave us. But again, the point you want to get to is moving all the way up through the ranks, going through diamond, going through star, getting to masters. Now, once you do hit masters, you're not going to have to go through here and farm anymore. You can't lose any of your points once you get to masters. But of course, the 12,100 is where we have to get to. Now, like I was saying earlier, though, this is all rolling up to the Dragon's Gift. You can see challenge 10 of 50 times. So we have another 40 times within the Heroes of Esperia. We will get a free copy of Hildwyn, which of course is going to roll up to the copies that we're getting in here. We already have him at Mythic Plus. Within the next couple weeks, we should be able to get him up to Ascended. And then of course, we almost have Gwen up to Mythic Plus as well. So we are building them out in their entirety. And all of the scrolls that we're getting for the rest of the game modes, we are just saving right now. But as we go through here, once we hit the 5 teams, I'm going to share with you the teams that we're using essentially for 5 teams at that point. But all right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.